So we'll call to order the Boundary Historical Society Annual General Meeting, October 21st, 2018. Welcome to everyone who is here, society members, executive. It's good to see you. Please, if you haven't done so after the meeting, get some goodies and coffee and tea.
Yes. Just making sure.
So next, we have a very special event. And we call for a motion to confirm 2 new life members after careful consideration. So motion to confirm 2 new life members, please. So, okay, seconded. All in favor? All right. The 2 yes, yeah. The 2 new life members. I wish I had a big bio written up on them, but I don't. But the first life member we're going to confirm is to Laura Lauder, and Laura has been a contributing member of the Historical Society for years. She contributed to report number 17, and she's active and she has a strong voice. We're just so thankful you're part of the Historical Society, Laura. And yes, I would like to shake your hand. Okay, now let's get it on. Okay.
And look this way as well.
Can you look this way?
Got it? There you go, Laura. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Well, I know I've been here for a long time, and I do have a powerful voice, and my family always complains, can you be a little quieter? So I do enjoy the historical stuff, and I hope that it'll continue forever. Because if people really, really do enjoy it. Some of the younger ones say, what are you doing that for? And then they pick up a book and they read it and think it's wonderful. So let's keep that information alive, because it's the people that made our country what it is today, and we're lucky.
And now the second life member, Les Johnson, has contributed enormously to the Historical Society, including being past president. He's also had a hand in the reports and events. What else? The videotape, you name it, Les has done it. He's also, you know, even come up and done WordPress sessions with us at the museum. I mean, your enthusiasm and your energy, Les, is nonstop, and we're so appreciative, and we would like to give you this lifetime membership. And
Okay, so here, turn it over here.
Yeah.
oh, slutty face. Okay,
This is a big week for us. That's not only we received the Citizen Volunteer Citizenship Award in Grand Forks the other night at the Phoenix Foundation meeting, so it's getting 2 awards this week.
Somebody call that the Community Service Award. Yes, I'm the best leaf raker to jail. Thank you very much for all this. Yeah, I've really enjoyed being part of this, and I don't want to ever stop being part of this. I think that history is important to pay attention to, and I think that the more we can do to make that come alive for people, the better it is. So, you know, the only comment I had when I heard I was getting this was, I'm still a kid! But thank you very much. I hope to be part of this for a long time.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure, Laura.
If it wasn't for Les, we wouldn't have got report number 17, or some of the ones previous, 16 also. He has given more of his time than any volunteer I have seen in years, where he was there when we needed him. And not only when I and him were doing these things together, but whenever you called him, he always was prepared to come and do. And he's never been paid for all these things except by us saying thank you to him. And I think he is a wonderful person to work for. Lorraine, you're lucky.
Okay, so
Hopefully everybody. Did everybody pick up an agenda?
did everybody have an agenda?
Did you get one out?
No, sorry. I can go through.
No, I'll get one. I'll get one.
So next, the reading of the 2017 AGM minutes. If everybody looks it over, I don't have to read the whole thing. I will if you want me to, though. Everybody got a copy?
Anybody else need a
Okay.
copy?
Everybody good? Take a minute to read it then.
Well, this is for last week. They had the meeting. You have one for the previous year.
Well, there's another project by Les. He scanned the reports that were submitted to UBC Archive.
No, that's still a work in progress.
Yeah. But he started it.
Not all of them, no.
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Where's this page?
I have a comment, reading the president's report. I'm not sure what exactly it's supposed to say, because it says that Les credited the RDKB and RDKE directors with making the improvements. I'm not sure.
Oh, means the regional district area.
I just got the
Both of them, B and E.
No, it is B and E.
D and E.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
you're right.
RDKB is correct, but it's the area
Okay,
B and E.
I'll change that to B and E.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No, D and E.
Yeah, I got that. D
Yeah,
and E.
that's correction.
You're a fast reader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a motion to accept the reading of the 2017 AGM minutes. Anyone? With corrections.
Motion?
Rose. Seconded. Irene. All in favor? Okay, business arising from the minutes. There is none. Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay, a statement of income and expenses for 2017 and 18. In income, we have luncheon and donations of $422.25, other income of $895, publication sales of $875, memberships of $675, and interest of $725 for a total of $2,008.45. Expenses, under fees and memberships, we had $409. For the AGM advertising, $48.72. Cemetery maintenance was $1,647.84. Our luncheon was $519.56. We didn't have a picnic this last year, so there was no expenses. Office supplies and postage was $320.05. Publications, we spent $1,818.81. Directors and officers insurance was $585 for a total of $5,348.98. The fiscal year of September 2017 to August 2018 statement of assets and liability. Our assets, this is the bank balance, was $6,512.32. Cash on hand was $49.17 for cash total of $6,561.49. Inventory, that's the publications that we have on hand, was $20,373.70 for total assets of $26,935.19.
Okay. Thank you, Joanne. Any questions?
How much do we have left in the cemetery?
I don't have it here, I could look it up in my monthly financial.
It's around $2,400.
I've got mine.
You got your book?
It's in the account.
That's, I don't have that.
Phoenix, I don't have it.
From our last meeting.
Yeah, in the last financial. So our Phoenix account at the end of August 2018 was $2,508.78. That's about what it is now.
Anybody else? Okay, motion to accept treasurer's report. Seconded, Laura. All those in favor? Okay, membership report.
Prior to the meeting today, we had 79 regular members and 5 life. I had to run up, so I don't know what happened, but I know that the majority of you here were already members, so I don't think that that's changed. And we've added 2, so we have 2 life members, so we have 79 regular members and 7 life members who are all still motoring along. So Thank you for morning. And we have Rose here too. So we've got 3 life members here today.
So that was a substantial increase from last year's minutes. You had 47 patrons.
Yep, we've been hustling out there, I know. No.
So, on to the president's report. I'm going to read it to you because I will forget if I try to do it off the top of my head. What an incredible year for the Boundary Historical Society. It is my perception that we started the year in my tenure with some unexpected surprises, but that we finished strong. It was a short time before the AGM last year that I was asked to stand as president, and with a strong candidate running against me, I gave my first speech to the assembled, clarifying my values and my intentions. To further the Boundary Historical Society aims and goals throughout the coming year, to uphold the current projects and direction the Historical Society was moving in, and to promote historical perspectives throughout the community. Along the way, I gently nudged the executive to work on completion of tasks. I attempted to learn Robert's rules. I'm still learning. I supported projects and connections with other nonprofits and with astounding individuals and organizations. Nothing fills me with greater satisfaction than the executive stepping up and stepping out, preparing and completing goals and projects, learning from workshops, and preparing further historical stories and information for the public at large. Mickey Keller-Naden gave a guided tour of the History Room at Art Gallery 2 downtown to students from Christina Lake. It was well received, and she reported to the executive about the interest. We have been attending fairs and community events in order to sell our newest report, number 17. Thanks to Doreen Sorensen for her expertise, drive, and ambition to further the Boundary Historical Society, along with her amazing German chocolate cake, and constant communication to the public and organizations about the Historical Society. We offered the first 16 reports at Christmas 2017 in the Art Gallery and at the Grad's Craft Fair at Grand Forks High School. We attended the Greenwood Craft Fair in January. It is so important to be a visible presence of living persons active in the ongoing historical process. I think you commented on that, Laura. For we are surely part of that active stream as much as the people whose lives are recorded in the reports. We held our annual anniversary luncheon on February 18th to celebrate our 67th anniversary and BC's Heritage Week. The president of the ATV Club, Doug Zorn, gave a talk on historical connections on the ATV trails and showed us signage which the club had erected in their kiosks. The slideshow and the baked potato feast were lovely. Thanks to Les Johnson, former president, who recorded the event and who records many of the events in the community. Unfortunately, the winter weather probably deterred some from coming out, but those who attended thoroughly enjoyed themselves. We commissioned the Boundary Woodworkers Guild to build and place 5 more picket cradles for placement at Phoenix, and a motion was passed to approach the Boundary Woodworkers Guild about building a kiosk at the Phoenix Pioneer Cemetery. David Bevan of the Woodworkers Guild brought a proposal to our executive early in the year regarding a workshop for carving names into memorial markers and for building a kiosk for the Phoenix Cemetery. We voted yes to the plan, and later in the year, in August, the workshop happened with Doreen and Irene contributing refreshments. Joanne and Doreen visited with lunch and participated in the carving. As I jump ahead in time, the unveiling of the memorial kiosk took place on September 11th before a group of onlookers, complete with bagpipe, Les Johnson filming, and speeches from David Bevan, Cher Wires, and Al Donnelly. A feast of snacks was enjoyed by all, thanks to Doreen and Irene. I was told it was both moving and memorable, and I invite everyone who hasn't been up there who wants to spend a quiet time pondering the history of those who lived so long ago to take a trek there. And I just made it up there for the first time. Really quite moving. Unfortunately, our annual picnic, usually in June, was canceled due to the flood along the Kettle and Granby, with both people and areas affected in conditions not conducive to this year's picnic. Next year, however, let's hope there's no major setback and we can enjoy the outdoors in good company. Towards the end of June, Doreen Sorensen prepared the newspaper exhibit at the Boundary Museum. The newspapers were donated to the museum by the Boundary Historical Society a few years ago. Doreen reported that tourists were interested in reading the papers and former residents looked for their history in editions of the Gazette and Boundary News. Irene Perapolkin continued her volunteer service at the Boundary Museum throughout the summer, baking bread in the outdoor patch. We attended Greenwood's Founders Days in July, and Doreen reported on the success of our venture. Report number 17 was finally ready and published after 2 years of hard work by a small but diligent group of researchers, writers, and editors. Thanks to Laura Lauder, Les Johnson, Doreen Sorensen, and Mickey Keller-Naden for their work in seeing the book through to printing. Although most of the executive had poured through the copy, I did not see the proofs, but was handed the final published copy by Doreen down at the municipal campground in a blaze of sunshine and satisfaction. I love the book. The date was August 9th. If you haven't seen report number 17 or bought a copy, please consider it. The font and pictures, maps and structure clearly show an effort and style that is elegant, accessible, and delightful. The content of people's lives, their history and endeavors, their contribution to Boundary Country are a snapshot of life that would be missed or lost without the Boundary Historical Society. Klaus Belon, our maintenance man for the Phoenix Cemetery, began work, repairing the gate and beginning the task of clearing brush. Joanne Sargent and Doreen Sorensen spent many days at the cemetery cleaning and painting picket fences. Laura Lauder gave a reading at the library on September 20th based on her story about her neighbor. A small but keen group attended, including a former journalist who lives now in Australia. Report number 17 continues to sell and is becoming a bestseller. Not to be forgotten, the Fall Fair BHS Society's table this year was coordinated and manned by Cher Wires, who, after surgery, was not deterred in the least. She organized and contacted volunteers who helped promote it and sold reports. A shout out to the Ham Radio Club for helping with this endeavor. We attended our first Harvest Fest on September 29th, and it was a successful endeavor for our society, seeing reports sold and new members signed up. Now we prepare for winter and Christmas tables at different craft fairs throughout Boundary Country and for the further research and promotion of future reports. All in all, a successful year of BHS activities and promotion by an active component of the executive. And unfortunately, this year, we are losing a member of our executive. We will miss Pat Zorn as a director, although she will remain a member and supporter of our society. We encourage any and all who want to join and help with the executive, with the society itself, or with research or sales, to step forward and contribute. History is never lost, it is merely forgotten till we realize and remember the truth of the past, enriching our lives in the present and guiding us into the future. Motion to accept President's report. Laura, seconded. Les. All those in favor? Okay. So now we have Deb Willer, who will...
I'm sorry, Joan doesn't know Deb. Deb was a big part of the group, and she was our secretary, but you guys all know her. So she's going to run this.
She's going to run the election.
So I've been told.
So you just been asked, that's all.
No.
Do you want, maybe we should give you some
Okay,
names?
because, well, I'm going to call for nominations.
Sure, that's
For
it.
the names.
Okay.
So we start with the office of president. Any nominations for president?
I'm nominating Joan Hart.
Further nominations for president. Last call for nominations for president. Joan, will you let your name stand? You are acclaimed. Nominations for vice president.
Oh, I nominate Cher. Cher Wire.
That's what I was going to do. Any further nominations for vice president? Last call for nominations for vice president. Sharon, will you let your name stand?
Yes.
You are acclaimed. To the office of secretary. I nominate Noreen Sorensen.
I'll second that.
Any further nominations for secretary? And last call for secretary.
Yes.
You are acclaimed. Nominations for treasurer.
I nominate Joanne Sargent.
Second call for nominations for treasurer. Last call for nominations for treasurer. Joanne? You are acclaimed. Okay, we have 2 positions for directors. Do you want me doing them separately or together?
They can be together.
First nomination for the positions of director.
I'm nominating Mickey and Irene Paratalkin as directors. Sorry, you didn't give last name.
Second call for nominations for directors. Final call for nominations for directors. Mickey, will you let your name stand?
I will.
Irene?
Yes, I will.
There being 2 positions, move to nominate their claim.
So finally, would you like to speak about
Sure.
people? Because I don't. We're going to take a moment of silence and reflection for members of our society who have passed away this year. But I would like Doreen to say a few words about them.
Well, our first member who passed away was John Goville. He passed away in January. And think he was an integral part of the society. A lot of it because he drove Rose everywhere she wanted to go. And he definitely supported her in her historical society endeavors. And Rose is a true historian, and I believe that John had just, almost as much interest in history as Rose. And they traveled the Boundary area, searching out history from the time they moved here till right now. Because Rose is still taking me on rides and showing me things. So I appreciate everything that John did for Historical Society, and I would like to recognize his passing. Pat Tantangelo is Joey Tantangelo's wife, and she was only a member for a year, but Joey isn't so much involved with the Historical Society, although he's a member, but he's a big supporter of the Boundary Museum, and he is a true lover of history and is always pleased to discover new history and to talk to people about it. And Pat supported him all through his it's often wives and husbands who support each other, and she supported him. And Bea Zuko is a famous name in the Boundaries history. She has, Les did a live video about her. What do you call it? What do we call
Living
it?
books.
A living book, and her story is present in our books, and she's also published a book. She took the right steps. I believe that's the title of the book. It's available in the Grand Forks Library for sure. I don't know if it's available in the Greenwood and Midway libraries, but it's a very interesting book, and she self-published that. Well, her grandson published it for her. And it's a story about fighting for people's rights and fighting for workers to be acknowledged that their living destroyed their health, and she got pensions for them, and she's a very admirable person, and I know that Les and I attended her celebration of life, and it was very moving to see all the people that she affected and people that she helped and people that she cared about, and her true love of the Boundaries history. So those are the three people that we want to recognize have passed away this year. So there's a minute of silence and reflection.
Thank you, everyone. And so now I think we're almost done. What's this?
May I have one? I don't know whether any of you know where the Sidley Cemetery is. It's right on Highway 3, and it's right, the road to Sidley goes on the left and it's on the right, and it's in dreadful condition. I'd like to at least get a fence around it.
Which way are you heading when you go to Sydney? Is it like
To Osoyoos. And I think it's Osoyoos' problem, but I think maybe a nudge from us would help.
Okay.
Well, the Area E has been focusing on the cemeteries, And we did visit the Sidley Cemetery, and someone from the regional district came out with a GPS and identified it. And also we went to the Carmi Cemetery, we went to the Westbridge Cemetery, and also a graveyard at 54 kilometers up Christian Valley.
Right.
And of course we went to the Bridesville Cemetery as well. We did a tour. That would be before Vicky G became the area, that we did it with Bill Barrett. And there is funding through the regional district to maintain or to focus on those cemeteries. And the Westbridge Cemetery has, in the last few months, been fenced. They still want to put up a fancy fence along the front. It is more utility than I would have liked to have seen it, but the regional district is aware of those rather neglected cemeteries.
Do you think a letter from our society might to
That
the
would, yes. I believe that the Sidley Cemetery is kind of, you have to go through private property to get to it, as you do for the Westbridge Cemetery and also the Christian Valley Cemetery. Access is through private property, and that has been an issue in the past.
So thank you. We'll certainly take that up. All right.
No, after we adjourn, we're going to call for area.
Okay. Okay. I declare the AGM adjourned. And now there's a call for area representatives. This heads out to yours.
Well, we do have two. It doesn't matter who, like, we do have two area reps. If anybody else is interested in being an area rep, we really, truly appreciate it, so. Or if you know anybody.
Who's the two area reps?
It's Lauder and Randy Noel.
Would you like to be representative?
Yeah, I think
We
we
already
could.
do.
I think
I'm
we
already
could.
doing things.
Yeah, well, but if you were officially up, then.
It's right on the board meetings again.
Oh.
I know how much you love those.
Not part of it.
Well, basically, in my book, I'd like to make you officially an area rep because I call on Al to do lots of things. So, like, he was in charge of putting in his headstone in, and he hasn't, as a past president, it's, I don't think you ever actually get out of it because you're always past, right? So you kind of don't get out of it. So personally, I call on Al lots and use his services. But if you would let your names down as area rep, it would be more official.
Okay.
You'd do that, okay.
And Al was also involved in number 16, wasn't it?
Yeah, the big news editor. Sorry, I need some gone. They're welcome
Okay.
to eat.
Welcome.
And
You're
you forgot
welcome.
to make the tea.
Tea, coffee, food, please enjoy. Thank you.